The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 121 of The Daily Mother Swole. Lucky for you, if you're watching me live, you get to see me gaining live on camera. Not everyone gets to see a unicorn in their lifetime. I am your unicorn. I am the only person where you could actually see growth live. Visibly, you could just see me just getting larger. My hair getting longer, my beard getting thicker. It's actually quite impressive, so if you're not watching me live, I encourage you to do so. Now that I'm done stroking my ego in the strangest way possible, welcome everyone on YouTube and also SoundCloud, iTunes, and Stitcher. Live, triple live broadcast, Busker, Periscope, and Facebook Live. So welcome everyone to episode 121 of The Daily Swole. Make sure you follow on Facebook live notifications. If you don't have those turned on, click in the top right, live notifications, so you get notified when I go live. Same thing on Periscope and Busker. And, of course, YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel. And also, if you're on SoundCloud, iTunes, all that good stuff. Just subscribe, follow, whatever you have to do on the medium of your choice. That way you get my information as soon as I put it out there. Let's talk about today's title, 30 minutes or less. 30 minutes or less. This is an interesting concept, and a lot of times people ask me, how often do you work out? How many days a week do you work out? How often do you work out? Blah, blah. How the frequency. How long do you work out? How long do you work out for? And some of you might be surprised or not surprised at how, not how little, but how little, or the frequency, or the amount of time spent in the gym. It doesn't take 2 or 3 hours when you go to the gym. Now, what I mean by that is active working out time. Here's the way I work. Here's the way I personally work. When I go to the gym, it depends on how much time I have to spend. Like if I don't have anything occurring, if I don't have a client, if I don't have any engagements, and I have a lot of free time, I will take my time often with like the warm up or with the cool down. Like I'll exacerbate. I'll really get into it a little bit more. I'll take my time. I'll just warm up a little longer. I'll stretch a little bit longer, and I enjoy it a little bit more just because I don't have to run in and run out. The actual working out time can also vary too. If I'm doing more strength training, if you're doing more strength training, lifting heavier weights, a lot of times you want to give more rest between sets because your body needs a chance to recover. If you're doing heavy strength, if you're doing heavy deadlifts, if you're doing heavy sets, low reps, for example, 4 reps, 5 reps, 6 reps, and you're going max strength, you need to give yourself more rest between sets. So you can't just do 30 seconds of rest and expect to get maximum strength. That would be resulting more in hypertrophic gains, more in like muscular size work if you're doing 30, 60, 90 seconds of rest. So if you want to do more strength, that's why powerlifters, that's why they wait minutes between workouts, because it helps them recover psychologically, and also physiologically, their ATP, their energy stores, replenish after about 3 or 5 minutes. So it takes a few minutes if you're doing strength. If you're looking more towards muscle growth, you can keep it to about 30 to 90 seconds, and you don't get complete recovery with energy, but physiologically and physically, your body will adapt more with muscle size. So it depends on what your goal is overall with training, how long you would rest between sets. However, the amount of volume and the length of my actual active working out, this is what I'm talking about, 30 minutes or less. I'm not talking about the warm up and the cool down. I'm talking about actually here's what I'm doing my sets. Here's what I'm doing my sets, the actual meat and potatoes of the training, what that actually entails of in terms of time. What I used to do, and what I've done sometimes, is I would leave my workout until when I only have about 30 minutes to train. It's an interesting concept because a lot of times you'll go to the gym and have free time, and you might work out longer than you need to. You take too long, you slack too long, you don't pace yourself properly, you spend too much time in the gym. And that could be a bad thing because you could be resting too long, you could be inefficient. And inefficient and wasting time is also not a good thing, because if you're in the gym for 2 hours, why when you could be in the gym for an hour? If you're losing an hour of sleep every day, if you're not getting enough sleep and you're spending 2 hours in the gym when you only really need an hour, then there you go. A lot of times people will say, I don't have time to go work out. I don't have time to do this. I can't get any more sleep. Well, there are usually periods of time where you can narrow things down, where you can adjust. You can shave off time in the gym. You can shave off time when you shower. You can shave off time on your drive home, when you go and you stop get a cup of coffee, whatever it might be. Cooking, if you can be more efficient with your prepping of your meals, you can usually find time. You just don't realize it until someone else looks from the outside in and, starts manipulating your schedule a little bit. And that's where I come in. That's what we do a little bit in Swolenormous Premium. If people are having trouble with their training, with their programming, that's where I can come in and analyze that a little bit. So if you don't know and you need some help with your program design, if you need some help with your strategizing, look into Swolenormous Premium. You can sign up on my website, swolenormous.com. Got a lot of people coming in there with programs and with their own training styles that we're working through and tweaking in order to make people more efficient. And that's just a work in progress. It takes time, it takes years, and your life changes. As you go through your life, your work ethic and your work environment and your work schedule can change. So this ability of you to have a 3-hour workout or a half an hour workout could be a luxury that you might not have in a year. Could be a luxury you might not have in 6 months. So when you really want to turn up your training, this is where you can use a limited amount of time to your advantage. I used to leave only about 30 or 45 minutes until I, had an obligation. And I would start my workout. So I would go to the gym an hour before I had to be somewhere. Let's say I had a client at 5 o'clock. I'll go to the gym at 4, warm up for 10 or 15 minutes, and then I would only have about 45 minutes to train. I would leave literally only the amount of time I could possibly have to train. And I would be super efficient because I didn't have a choice. I didn't have a choice but to go all out and to get it done that time. And I would do that on purpose. I wouldn't just go to the gym and have 10 hours and be like, I'm just going to work out for half an hour. I would leave only the amount of time. That way it would kind of put me into a cage. It would put me into a restricted environment where I had to turn it up or pretty much turn up or shut up. I would not have the option to give anything less than 100%, and I would generally work harder because I had a limited amount of time to get what I needed to do done. And that's an interesting way to utilize time. To your advantage. So a limited amount of time doesn't have to be a downfall. It doesn't have to be a negative, like, oh my God, I don't have enough time to work out. I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm not going to be able to do that. Use that as an opportunity to do more work in less time and increase the intensity of your training. If you are spending an hour in the gym and you're not being efficient, you're doing stuff wrong. You're doing stuff wrong because you do not need more than an hour to work out. You don't need more than an hour. You really don't. I mean, half an hour, that could be challenging for a lot of you. And until you really learn how to, limit your rest and you learn your exercise and you learn your body, the more you know your body, the better and the more efficient you could be in that half an hour. If you're a beginner, you don't want to rush. You want to take your time and you want to be able to do things properly and you're learning. But an hour is plenty for anyone. Unless you're a super advanced bodybuilder, you're doing specific types of training, you might need more time for whatever the reason. I'm not going to get into any of that. And everyone's different, but just because they sometimes do excessive amounts of volume, and everyone's different when it comes to volume. Yesterday I went to the gym, I just did glutes, I just did deadlifts, and I did glutes. And I took my time. Because I was doing more strength and I wanted more rest between my sets. I wanted to warm up a lot and I didn't have anything I needed to do. So I took my time. I enjoyed it and I enjoyed just being there, kind of like a Zen-like meditation, just doing my deadlifts and focusing and just being there myself. But you can do anything you need to do in an hour and you can do anything you need to do in half an hour and 45 minutes. And my point is sometimes you can restrict yourself on purpose to that amount of time, and that can raise the intensity because you have to get your stuff done in that time period no matter what. And you limit yourself. You're like, okay, well, I have to be somewhere. I have to leave at 5, so you don't go to the gym at 4, or you go to the gym at 4 or 4:15, but you go, so by the time you start, it's 4:30, and you have to pound it. And it's fun. It's a challenge to get the same amount of work done that you normally do in an hour. In a half an hour, you got to work hard. You're going to be dripping in sweat. You're going to be resting very oh, your rest time is going to be absolutely nothing. It's a nice way to mix things up and make it more exciting. So you can increase the intensity, increase the output, increase the efficiency, and you'll learn a lot about your body. You'll learn a lot about what you can get done, and you'll be very impressed. You'll be very impressed when you do a half an hour workout and you slam it like all into like one, real, constricted space and time space. You'll be impressed at what you can get done in half an hour. Okay? Think about that next time you train. You do not need endless time in the gym. Think about that, process that. Thank you for watching. Remember, you could find the Daily Swole. This is episode 121. You can find them all on YouTube, youtube.com/Swolenormous. So if you're new on Periscope, Busker, or Facebook, make sure you go right now. Go right now to my my YouTube channel. Go right to my YouTube channel and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Swolenormous, on YouTube. I have 500 videos on there. I got tons of exercise videos, tons of information. youtube.com/Swolenormous. You could also find the Daily Swole on podcast form on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Stitcher. And I broadcast live on Facebook, Periscope, and Busker every day at 12 noon Eastern Time. Okay, you can also look me up on Instagram, Snapchat, Swolenormous, anywhere. Just type in Swolenormous and you'll find Papa Bear. Thank you for joining me for episode 121. I'll see you tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern Time. If you're in the United States, enjoy your Labor Day. Have time with your family, friends, but make sure you get your workout in. Most gyms are open in the morning, so don't use Labor Day as an excuse to just be, for debauchery and just completely like falling off your diet. Use your food as a tool. Enjoy. Have some relaxation if you need it, but use it wisely or use it as an opportunity to get more work done in many ways. Okay? Thank you for joining me. I'll see you tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern Time. I'll stay for a couple minutes maybe if you got some good questions, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.
Another.